Hello, everyone. How's everyone doing today? Good morning, Sterling. Good morning, Patrick. Good morning, John. Good morning, Dean. Good morning, Royal Palms. Good morning, Kevin. Let's see, is there anybody else below? Sterling's putting in the information and some news. Good morning, Jacob. What else? Good morning, Anissa. Good morning, David. Good morning, Ron Van Bakel. Or good afternoon, I should say, Ron. Good afternoon to you. Sorry, misread that the first time. All right. We got non-farm payroll annual revision coming out. Pretty much expected that it's going to be bad. So, will the market rally or sink? I mean, the trend is still up. Is it already priced in or not? We'll do our best to figure it out. What else do we have today? We already had the non-farm, the NFIB Business Optimism Index coming in, just below consensus, but better, just slightly higher than prior. Redbook coming in, beating last time 6.6 for 6.5, so Redbook definitely holding in there. Non-farm payroll annual revision coming out at 10 a.m. Eastern, supposed to be minus 8.8. Well, that was the previous one. It's expected to be bad. So, I mean, we'll just see. That's where it sits this morning. Other than that, very light day. That's the only big thing today. Going into it, mega caps mixed. Broadcom up a bit. There is a massive potential double top in Broadcom to keep an eye on. Groups, technology, basic materials, energy leading. Consumer defensive is the only thing that's really lagging. We'll just refresh that to make sure that's still going in. And financials now are lagging. But energy is really leading the day today. Fed watch still for a single cut 92%. We'll have to keep an eye on this if it changes today. But other than that, remember we are 8 days away. Not this Wednesday, but next Wednesday is the rate decision. Fear and greed still in neutral mode. Schiller PE dirt cheap 39.03. So, super pricey markets, very complacent markets. After that, we had nothing this morning for earnings. Nothing really this morning for earnings. Good morning, Jake. Good morning, or hello, Charles. After close, we have Oracle, and if people still care, GameStop. But it's mainly Oracle after the close, and tomorrow before the open, we got Chewy. All right. Sterling said something just pounded. Just pounded? Yeah. I mean, it's still caught in a range. Somebody was selling some stuff, or a bunch of people were selling some stuff. But again, does that change the levels? No. Levels I'm looking at. My first level support is 45. Sorry, that is the. I was on the Dow. How did I mess that up? Boy. So there's your S&P breaking the first level of support, coming into a small support band. But if that breaks, my next major level is 64.93. 64.93 is very key. That's what I'll be looking at. 64.93 just behind the 4-hour rotation zone. If we break that, then we have the remnants of a clear path move down to about 64.70, and then major is 64.50. Those are all the key levels I'm looking either for downside target should we get momentum or for bounce patterns. If we can sustain back above 65.08, then we had a single candle clear path right here, which the target for that is the green bar open. Just so everybody knows, which was 65.23, and it bounced up right here to 65.23. So that already targets. So that will be another target again, and then the target to the upside will be 65.30. So 65.23 to 65.30 will be a target area if it does rally, and then the highs from Friday, 65.41. The bigger picture. We're still running up. Unless we really start closing below Friday's low, which would also take us on a close below the rotation zone and a close below the channel, then then that would start doing some technical damage. Good morning, Tony. So, what else do we have? NASDAQ. The levels on the NASDAQ I'm looking at, given a little more room right here going to the open, about 23,780. Below that, we got 23,730, 23,675 approximately, and then 23,615. Those are the key levels. What would that do? The bottom level is 23, or the middle level, 23,673 would be at the top of the rotation zone. And then this 23,615 is just in the rotation zone. There was some prior buying pressure there. So that's what I'm looking for on pullbacks. Only thing that would really, again, we'd have to start really getting below Friday's low and on a closing basis start doing major technical damage. Minor technical damage is about below, on a closing basis, about 23,575. To the upside, you can see the selling pressure 3 days in a row so far. So again, triple top. First target is 23,887 to 23,9 is the first target area if the rotation zone holds on the 4-hour basis. Above there, we do have a few stopping points, but the major target is 24K. Good morning, Heinrich. The Dow, which I looked at briefly before, and I think it was the S&P, which was my mistake. 45,550 is key support. We break below that 45,350. The breakout play is above 45,660, with the target being about 45,760, and then we hit the triple top high area around 45,820. Again, the trend is still up in all these markets. Technical damage will be done if we close below about 45,245. Russell, key support right now, 2381. And then we have right around Friday's low coming in 2365. A close below 2365 takes it below this upsloping trend line. But the major area, which probably would not happen today unless we went into sort of minor crash mode, is 2342 on a closing basis. Good morning, Ted. Good morning, Heinrich. I don't know if I said good morning to you already. VIX. We do have a little mini potential double bottom. Does not mean it will ever trigger, but that's a thing I'll keep keeping an eye on above 1692. 1692 is very key. DAX, again, still in the vicinity of the trend line, trying to kiss it away multiple times with the declining rotation zone. I'm still, again, only rollover plays unless the DAX can get back above 24K. Yields, trying to put in very oversold, potential percent B buy from yesterday, but I doubt we'd be hitting that. Nothing. The trend is still down. If we fall through yesterday's low at 4.06, 4.02, then 3,998 to 4 are the key supports, and that's getting into some major support. This is getting overdone on the sold side for the micro yields. What else? Crude. Little reaction here today. Flatten rotation zone against very key resistance, 63.27. We'll be watching for short setups unless we get through 63.95. Gold continues to push higher, getting very overextended. And remember, on a monthly, it is insanely overextended, but there is no topping pattern, and do not short gold. So next minor clusters 3704 to 3711, and then you have 3745. What else do we have? We have dollar index. Maybe setting up a percent B buy for tomorrow for a bounce only, but this could get erased with the non-farm payroll revision. We'll have to see. Again, that's scalpy only because the trend we now broke on a closing basis is 97.20. So I'm watching for a retest and then a potential rollover play. I really like when it retests prior major support becoming resistance. What else do we have? Just look at the yields. Yields are bouncing a little on the yen. The looking for, again, a lot of these yields are getting overdone on the pullbacks. So we will see. But the hardest one to trade is a 10-year here. The easier one to trade are the 30-year pound French. So that's what I'll be looking at with that. The spiders, very key support level is 647.25. Below that, if we do break that, 646. To the upside, 648.94 is looking where we're opening. And yesterday's high, 649.84. So just slightly above yesterday's high. If it does make a run higher, its key area is still 651.50. If we break above the highs from Friday, 653.25 is the next major target. The Qs, 577 is the first level support. Major support, 575.20. Right now, we're gapping up above yesterday's close. So rollover play would be to the close, 578.87, and then the 577 level. To the upside, 580.50. And then minor is 581.92 to 582. Then we have a cluster at 582.62. Those are all the minor targets, the upside. And then we have the major target, 587.38. And that's where we sit. Hey, OD Green. It very well could. It's all getting piled into. It's all getting piled into. So you said hood invalidated. Yep, that is off it's off the table. It's turned into a triple. So no double in Robinhood anymore. Let's see if the double's still in Broadcom. This is a 4-hour double, by the way. It is still valid. Even if we run up here again, it will be valid. Again, would not recommend front running this at all, but that's something I'm keeping an eye on in case Broadcom does close below 331.41. It would take it all the way to the potential gap fill from earnings. And that would do some technical damage to the market. Other than that, NVIDIA, you've seen the shift in NVIDIA. Can't get any traction and still cannot get above prior support becoming resistance. And actually closing below the 50 for the first time since the breakout move in May. So things definitely shifting on NVIDIA. But everybody's looking at Broadcom now. That's why I'm keeping an eye at Broadcom if it does trigger that topping pattern. Tesla, not much to talk about there. Their ride, so it's no longer a robo-taxi service, it's just a ride-hailing service. So they're just driving their Teslas around for the San Francisco airport. Is that correct? Did I get that correct? What else? And by the way, Tesla's back to P to E ratio of over 200. So take that for what it's worth. What is this? Seniors. Well, we'll have to see if that continues to pan out. All right, and that's where we sit. Again, 10 a.m. Eastern is the big time today. That's all I'm keeping an eye on. Other than that, remember, even on a pullback, the trend is still up unless we start getting to some of these key levels, but that requires a pretty big pullback to get there. Now, that being said, this is definitely looking like a rounded top, waning momentum topping formation. That does not mean it has to end today. Does not mean it has to end this week. but it is getting into more of a rounded top on waning momentum. Each subsequent push is struggling to even eke out highs. And the NASDAQ still has not taken out its highs from the middle of August. Could that change today? Sure. But again, would that be incredibly bullish on the NASDAQ? No, it would not. So again, maybe there could be some scalping. If we get momentum to the downside, there could be some tight scalps. But other than that, I'm still looking for potential bounce plays on pullbacks unless we close in the S&P below the channel, below the rotation zone, and below Friday's low. With that, I will see you all back hopefully tomorrow, same time. And we'll start getting into your PPI, CPI numbers, and some more interesting things to round out the week. Until then, bye for now. Have a wonderful trading day.